Welcome back aliens, my name is Reddy and let's continue with the series on JavaScript. And in this video we'll talk about for loop. So in the earlier video we have talked about while loop, we have talked about do while loop. Why do we need another loop here? See, the thing is, let's go back to while loop just to understand. So let's put the condition which is I less than equal to 5 and let's remove the while loop from here. Okay, so this is your while loop, right? A simple while loop. So here we can see we are doing 3 steps. We are doing initialization, we are checking for the condition, and then we are doing increment. And normally when you want to do some increment and if you want to run a loop for a specific number of iterations, what makes much more sense is to write these 3 things on the same line. Don't you think? If you just want to iterate between the numbers, this will be same. I mean, the value of I will be assigned, you have to check for the condition, you have to increment or decrement based on the situation. So here what we can do is, instead of using a while loop, we can use a for loop. Now how it looks like, so instead of using while, we'll use for. The only thing is, in for loop, you do all the steps in one line. Example, so let me remove the condition. You use 2 semicolons here. The first, we are creating 3 statements with 2 semicolons in between. The first one is let I equal to 1, that's the first step, initialization. The next step you have to do is for the condition. And the third one is the increment, which is I++. So by doing this, you don't have to mention this let, you don't have to do increment. So we are doing everything in one line. Mind you, it is still 3 statements because you are using semicolon at the end, right? With the fourth separation. But the line is 1. And now if you run this code, you got the same output, right? This is what we wanted. We want to print hi 5 times, but instead of using while, do while, we have used a for loop. Quite simple, right? Now the only thing is it compulsory to write everything in one line? See, the option is you can write everything in one line, but if you choose, you can still go for the old pattern. That means you can achieve while loop with the help of for loop, right? Example, let's say I don't want to initialize the variable. I will initialize here, but then in the for loop I will not initialize, I will just check for the condition and increment. It worked. Let me show you. You can see we got the same output. But what if you don't even want to do increment here? We can do the increment later in the block and even that works. Okay, so there's no compulsion that you should write everything in one line. For loop offers that, but you can skip that. In fact, you can also skip the condition. Okay, I know that will be weird because there's no condition, it will go forever. That's we called as infinite loop. Look at the output here, it's crazy. Okay, let's see where it ends. So let me just fast forward this video. And you know, the speed is actually depend upon your CPU. Let me just check the task manager how much it is taking. Maybe later on we will try with some other weird stuff just to see if we can consume the complete memory. Look at the Visual Studio processing. It is taking 54% of my CPU. It's actually very time consuming, so I'm just stopping it here. You can say Control C, it will stop the execution. So CPU is under control now. So that's the thing, you can just try it out. I'm not sure at what point it will end. I've never tried it, so you can try on your machine. But again, it's not compulsory. You have to put the condition if you want to stop at a particular point. So we want to stop at I less than equal to 5. And it's always better to initialize the variable inside a for loop and do the increment and decrement inside this space here, which is I++. I will say let I equal to 1. So that you don't have to mention that here. But now the question would be, which is the better loop? Should we go for a while loop or do while loop or a for loop? And that we will discuss in the next video. So as of now, we have understood what is while loop, do while loop and for loop. In fact, you know, you can actually use a loop inside a loop. Example, I want to print hi and then I want to print hello 5 times. Then hi and then hello 5 times. So you can actually do that. Example, what I'm doing is, I just want to say log and I want to print hello here, right? So it should print hi once and then 5 hellos and then 1 hi, then 5 hellos. So basically in total, I want to execute hello 25 times, but then it should print 1 hi and then 5 hellos, right? So what we can do here is we can write this with another for loop. So basically we are using a loop inside a loop, which is called a nested loop. So let's try. So we'll say j equal to 1, j less than equal to 5 and j plus plus, right? And there's one more thing. If you know that you only have one statement inside your block, example, if you look at this for loop, we only have one statement. So the curly brackets is not compulsion. We have done that in if and else, right? So if you have only one statement, curly brackets not required. Okay, let's try. In fact, I will also print the value of j and let's see how this behaves. And I will go back here and let's run. You can see that, okay, that's the earlier output we got. So we have hi 1 and then it prints hello 5 times. You can see the value of j is incrementing. And then we got hi 2 here and then we got hello 5 times. then hi 3, hello 5 times. So what is happening here is, if you just try to run this code mentally, you got the value of I, which is initially 1. It will check for the condition. It will not do increment there. It will just print this I value. Then it will go for the next loop, which is j. The value of j is 1, and then it will print hello 1. So it is printing hi 1 and then hello 1. That's what you got the output here, the first one. And then this loop will get continue. Okay, it will not jump to the outer loop. This is an inner loop. It will first complete the inner loop, then it will go for the outer loop. So it is changing the value of j to 2, and then it is printing hello 2. Then it is printing the value of j to 3. It is printing hello 3, and it is reaching till 5. It prints hello 5. It is the value of j is incrementing to 6. Now it is a false condition, right? It will jump out of for loop. It will go for the outer loop, and the value of I is 1. It will make it 2. And that's why you can see we got hi 2. But then the moment you go back to this loop, the value of j will be reinitialized to 1, and that's how it works. Example, you have an year, let's say year 2021, and in this year you have 12 months, right? So January, February, March, April, and then it will reach to December. We got a next year 2022, but what will happen? Again, January will start. That's how it is working. So the months are inner loop, the years are outer loop. So that's it from this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comment section, and do subscribe for further videos. Bye bye.